What's up, ESP Nova family? Happy Monday. This week's video, I want to talk to you about your routine, which has just been completely rocked, right? All of our routines have just been completely rocked. And you could look at this one of two ways. You could look at this as, oh, woe is me. Actually, you could look at it more than one. I'll say one of two ways. You could look at it three ways. Number one is like, oh, woe is me. Like, I can't go to the gym if that's your case. Or can't go to my favorite restaurants. Like, oh, I wonder if this is ever going to end. Option two would be to look at this like it's vacation, right? And oh boy, like, man, I'm just gonna sleep in, I'm gonna, do whatever I want, and not necessarily good either. And option three would be to look at this as an opportunity to work on all the things that you've been wishing that you had the time and space to work on, right? And I would love to see everybody take option three, and that's really what we're gonna be shifting towards, because who knows how long this is gonna go on, right? Who knows how long this is gonna go on? What I do know is that there are going to be people who come out the other end of this in a bad spot, in a worse spot than they were going in. And not because they were actually directly impacted by the coronavirus, but because of the choices that they made in not thinking through their new routine, okay? But that's not gonna be you. That's not gonna be you. And I want to give you some stuff today that's going to immediately give you some very applicable things that are going to provide a lot of benefit to your new routine. All right, so let's jump in. So the very first thing is work versus family and just general home things, right? All this time, I know that some of our people have worked from home, but some of what I'm going to say, maybe you're going to be sitting there shaking your head like, oh crap, I do struggle with that. And then others, for the first time ever, are trying to figure this out. And as someone that works from home a lot and has done it in a variety of ways, I'm going to tell you about a really bad way to do it and a better way to do it. So here's the bad way to do it. And that is to work anywhere in the house, right? When Jess and I first got together, I used to write programs in the kitchen, in the dining room, sitting on the couch in the living room. Sometimes I'd even be sitting in bed with the laptop propped open, typing away. I would work anywhere, anytime, right? And that was a problem because anytime I got the urge to work, it was like, well, I work in the house, like that's what I do. And I would just go into it. And there wasn't this separation between work and family, okay? And as much as you might look at it and be like, dude, you're at home, like whatever, I'm telling you right now, what I'm about to go over is huge and has made a big, big difference. I'm actually standing in my home office filming this, and I understand that not everyone has the luxury of having a home office, but you can still pick a place in your house that is designated for you to do work, right? And it could pretty much be anywhere, but I'm still gonna give you some guidelines and say a few places that I don't think that it should be. I don't think that it should be in high traffic areas of the house where your family is going to congregate often. So I don't think that you should work in the kitchen. I don't think you should work in the dining room. I don't think you should work in the living room. And I definitely don't think that you should work in the bedroom unless you had like a desk off to the side, but I'll especially say you should not be working in bed, right? Because then it's hard to shut off. You're in bed, you keep looking at your computer and doing work things. Next thing you know, it gets to the late hours of the night and you don't have that separation. So find a place in your house that you can designate as the place where you focus on work. When you're there, focus on work. Share with your family. Not say like, hey, don't bother me, I'm gonna be working here, but let them know, hey, when I'm in this area, in this room, that's where I'm gonna go to try and focus and get my work done. And then be as productive as possible as you can with that time, so that when you're done, you can go back to the rest of the areas of the house where your goal is to be present with your family and do, whatever home things, and you can kind of let go of work for that time being. This is easier said than done. I will be the first person to sit here and admit that and say that I still do struggle with this at times, but I do see a huge difference the last few years, both at the place we currently live and at our last place, having a home office and really trying to keep my work concentrated in that room and be focused and present with the family everywhere else in the house, okay? So first and foremost, you gotta look at your routine of working from home and kind of designate that space and make sure that you're focused and present on whichever one you're supposed to be focused and present with at a given time. And you're not just mindlessly working away because you can do it anywhere in the house, all right? Next up is movement. I was actually emailing with one of our members this morning who was talking about a number of different things, but one of them was that, she is a college professor, and one of them is that her routines have been rocked and that she's no longer going and standing in front of a classroom where you don't realize how much movement you get in. You're pacing back and forth as you're instructing, you're walking to and from classes, the car, the whole nine. Now you're working from home, you're doing all of these video chats, and they want people to keep their cameras on so they get like the community interaction, everyone can see each other. But that way, now it's like she kind of feels awkward to get up and pace and like maybe do some air squats and just general movement. So she finds herself sitting more than she has in a very long time, maybe ever, tied up with all these things. So now it's not that we have to sit there and get down about that or whatever situation you may be in, but we need to put together some new routines to make sure that we're getting in lots of movement. And it doesn't just mean like I'm going to work out at this time, because while working out is important, all the other movement is neat. And that's kind of a play on words, right? Neat, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's the benefit that we get from just generally moving throughout the day as well. Okay, so you're not driving around as much and parking and walking to and from the car. You're probably not seeing as many stairs unless you're purposely going up and down at home. So let's look at times that we're going to add some movement back in, since if we just go about our daily routine within the house, we're going to get a whole lot less. So maybe it's get out, go for a walk. It is beautiful outside. This couldn't have happened at a better time. Get out, go for a walk. Maybe it's that you're on a conference call and you have a few minutes of downtime and you're like, I can't work out this time. Who cares? Don't worry about working out. Maybe it's just drop down, hold a plank. Maybe knock out some push-ups, do some air squats. Just go walk the stairs in your house if you have stairs a few times. Whatever it is, just get up and move and make sure that we're still building in and keeping lots of movement into our new routine throughout the day, okay? So look for opportunities to move and take those opportunities. The next one is nutrition, and this is one that for a lot of people is going to be a big struggle, because maybe you're used to eating at the company cafeteria, or you had this routine of getting up and meal prepping on this day and making sure it's all ready to go because you got to leave and go to work. But now because you're home, all of that is like, it's not as urgent. You're like, well, I'm going to be home. I can just make something whenever it's time to eat, and it leaves so much more room for temptation to be like, I don't really want to make that. I think I'll have this. So some recommendations for nutrition are, let's make sure that we have good options in the house. Let's make sure we have good options in the house, and let's make sure that we have an environment that's setting us up for success by making sure that we don't have those tempting options in the house, right? I get some of us have kids, and we're not going to deprive our kids of having their cereal and different things. So, but we still have to set some boundaries and make sure that we still have a plan, right? That we shop for the plan. This is like a time where maybe you're still ordering food, right? That's okay if you are. Let's still look at making some healthy options. But we used to talk all the time about three things: a plan, shopping, and preparing. You have a plan, you shop for the things to execute on that plan, and then the third one, which is real easy not to do, you can look at all those ingredients and be like, it's work. To execute on the plan, actually prepare those things. And then I guess a fourth thing would be to actually operate with consistency and eat around your plan that is set up to support your goals, right? So we have our nutrition pocket portion guide. All of the members should have this. If you don't, let me know. I can send you one. Anyone's welcome to drop by the gym and pick one up. But we don't need to overcomplicate this stuff. You don't need a real rigid, crazy diet. Again, we don't want to overcomplicate this, but we do want to have a plan, and we do want to execute on that plan. We don't want to use this more, I don't want to say relaxed, because I don't think anyone's relaxed right now, but this routine of being at home and things being a little bit more lax in the house to slip up on our nutrition. Because again, you don't want to come out the other end of this worse off than you did going in. And honestly, there's a huge opportunity to come out the other end of this better than you did coming in. All right, so nutrition. If you want one of those cards, let me know. I'll get it for you. And then last but not least, sleep, okay? And this is one where many of you now, because you don't need to get up and go to work at a specific time, maybe you have some calls, but our routines are going to get a lot more lax, so it's going to be easy to stay up later. It's going to be easy to sleep in longer. I saw a meme. I definitely laughed out loud at this one that said, It's 9 p.m., which is a reminder to switch out from your day pajamas and put on your night pajamas, because I think that's pretty much how everyone's operating right now. And while it's funny, I do want to talk to you about going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. And as much as you might be like, really? Like, what's that gonna do? It's gonna do a lot. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. 9 is crazy. I know many of you are like, 9 hours, but aim for a minimum of 7 hours of sleep. I wouldn't get any more than 9. And when you get up in the morning, get bright lights on. It's gonna help to get your circadian rhythm set. It's gonna help with regulating your energy and your ability to focus and get things done. And then obviously, with that regular wake up and getting into those things, get into your routine, right? Remember, separating work and family, getting our movement in, our nutrition, and then going to bed at the same time. And this is just gonna help to keep you on a routine, because the last thing you wanna do is kind of take all the things that we talked about and, right, you decide to ignore this one, the work one. You're working in bed, you're like scrolling on your laptop and you're doing some work. Oh, I should check my email. Oh, let me go check Facebook. Next thing you know, it's 1 a.m. And then you're like, all right, like, oh man, I'm real tired. You fall asleep with your laptop on your chest. You wake up, you finally get that on the floor. You just get like crap for sleep. Then you decide to sleep in, you waste the whole morning, and your productivity just goes to hell. And I don't want you to do that, right? So we have our 11 steps to better sleep. There's a whole bunch of ideas on here. If you'd like one of these, reply, let me know. I will send you over the image. If you would like a hard copy, you're welcome to drop by the gym anytime and pick one up, all right? And, this is a few ideas to give you a big start. Honestly, we're gonna be cranking out a lot of stuff for our members, because the way that I look at it is this is an awesome opportunity. Of course, there are some tragic things going on with coronavirus, but in a lot of ways, this is an awesome opportunity. I am choosing to look at this as, hey, you know what? We've been telling our members for years, this card says, where are you at? And there's something that we call the where am I at wheel that accompanies this card. And we say a lot of people, when they want to get in better shape, they think about two things that are on this card. They think about training and they think about nutrition. And everybody wants to put all their eggs in those baskets. They want to train real hard and they want like a restrictive diet, but those things typically aren't sustainable for a lot of people. And honestly, as much as we run a gym, it's like that just happens to be the catalyst that we most use to help people change. But I can help someone to get phenomenal results with not really training hard, definitely not training hard, and not doing some crazy restrictive diet, because there's 6 other areas that people often overlook. A commitment to something purposeful, their sleep, being just generally active outside the gym. Doesn't even need to be a workout routine. Their active self-care, and active self-care, you might be like, what is that? Could be things like yoga, stretching, getting a massage, which I understand right now probably wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. But things where we're taking care of our body, creating mental space. Could be something that's, a little bit like at the further end would be like meditation, but it could also just be taking a quiet walk, sitting down and shutting our eyes for a second, just sitting with our thoughts, reading a book, journaling, all kinds of ideas there. And then connection and support, just making sure that we're getting lots of positive inputs now more than ever. You turn on the TV and it's just doom and gloom news everywhere. And I get it, like this is serious. There are some precautions that we should all be taking, but we want to be careful about how much negative we're putting in. But then also like sharing the goals and what we want to do with the wrong people. And they're like, why would you want to do that? Like you're not going to amount to anything. So these 6 other areas are often overlooked. And the way that I'm looking at this is now more than ever, we've got an opportunity to focus on these things and the other ones that are on here. And if you'd like any help with that whatsoever, again, we're going to be doing a bunch on this stuff for our members coming up. We're looking at this as an opportunity. But if you're not a member and you're thinking, man, like Chris is right, this is an opportunity to work on those things, and you'd like help, let me know. I've got a really cool offer for you. Don't take that as like, oh, he's going to sales pitch me something. Let's just get on the phone. Let's talk. Let's email back and forth. Let's text, whatever. But just reply to this email and let's talk and let's get you squared away and make sure that you're one of the ones that comes out the other end of this whole coronavirus insanity in a better place than you did coming in, because you looked at it as an opportunity, not as this is the worst thing ever. All right? I love all of you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.